What's going on, guys? This is Kaishra. Welcome back in our YouTube channel. We are here with Anthony Apelado with his Blue Eyes deck profile post SD47 that was recently released in the OCG last week, Saturday. And he won a major tournament in Iloilo, Visayas, in our country, in the Philippines, in September 14, entitled the Iloilo Yu-Gi-Oh! Ultimate Tournament in IBAM Tambayan Merrimark. So he went first in the tournament using the Blue Eyes White Dragon. So introduce yourself first, Anthony.
Hello, my name is Anthony Janeco Pelado. I'm an Antique Yu-Gi-Oh player. So I started joining last year in the Iloilo Yu-Gi-Oh Association. Uh, One of my friends introduced me to the game. My first deck was Blue Eyes White Dragon, and I continued using Blue Eyes White Dragon throughout my months joining tournaments in the association.
Okay, so what opted you to play the newly supported Blue Eyes White Dragon into the tournament?
Okay, so it's ever since Dragon Master Magia released, I really wanted to use this card. Like it was so hard to use it at the time when it was released. So ever since I saw the new supports, I practiced it like for 2 months in Edo Pro and in real life using printed cards. So this deck that I built always brings out Dragon Magia Master, and without any disruptions, using 1.5 card combo.
Okay, so what are your innovations or spice into your deck list? Looking on our deck profile here on Edo Pro.
Okay, so I opted for a more for more control deck. Uh, for more control deck. So this deck essentially goes for six negates, and as you can see, Hot Red Dragon Archfiend Abyss. I didn't add in Cosmic Blazar because as it is good for a Omni negate. I opted for Archfiend Abyss so I can negate Dark Lord no more. And with this build, I can also implement Secret Village into the deck because Maiden special summons during my opponent's turn.
Okay, so how do you view the Blue Eyes Dragon, White Dragon deck into the current metagame at the moment?
Honestly, I can say that it's still not meta in a sense because one Ash and like one Bestial, the deck dies. To be honestly, but I've seen the deck reports, and right now it's at tier C. I can't exactly deny naman it's going meta.
So you have opted to run the Blackluster Ritual and the Chaos Max into this build. So what are your thoughts on these two Ritual monsters and how these guards have fared into your tournament?
Okay, so essentially, Blackluster Soldier is only there because it's easy to search out using Gateway to Chaos. I cheat out Ancient Fairy Dragon using Blue Eye Spirit Dragon, and I just destroy my field spell, which is mostly of white, to add in a Gateway to Chaos. Because using Dragon Ravine, I go an inherent -1 because I discard one card and then send a dragon. So that's where Chaos Max comes in. But I instead used Gateway to Chaos, so I can just add Blockbuster Soldier into my hand, without going an inherent -1 on my hand.
I
For
see.
my Chaos
So,
Max,
okay, continue.
uh, for this build, I just sided the Blue Eyes Abyss Dragon and Blue Eyes Chaos Max Dragon into this build. Because when I side out and I know that my opponent doesn't have any spellcasters, I just main deck Blue Eyes. I'll just side in Blue Eyes Abyss Dragon and Chaos Max because Abyss adds in Chaos Max at the end phase, and siding out Gateway to Chaos for Secret Village so that the Ancient Fairy Dragon can search out Secret Village.
I see. So it is notable on your deck list that you're not running the Faros or the Multichami Faros. What are your thoughts on not running the card and how it impacted your chances of winning without those Faros in your main deck or even side deck?
Okay, the reason why I'm not running Faros because I don't have it because it's way too expensive. And then how it impacted me was against my match with Tenpai. My God, game one, my opponent chained. My opponent activated two Faroses, so he drew like two cards. I don't know. I had to think outside the. I had to think a lot, and it's a good thing that I had Blue Eyes White Dragon in my hand. It's a good thing that Faros doesn't let my opponent draw when I special from my hand or graveyard. So I just spammed out my dragons from my graveyard and my hand, and then set the Majesty with Dragons of White trap card so that I can just destroy the 10-5 field spell and just disrupt the 10-5 play as it goes.
I see. So very reasonable. I believe Wars is really expensive right now. So we're still hoping that the price drops. So how resilient this Blue Eyes White Dragon deck can be around Maxi and Faros?
Um, with Faros, I can essentially counter with me just special summoning from my hand and deck. Maxi, on the other hand, I can't say much. Honestly, with a Maxi play, I can essentially just summon out one Blue Eye Spirit Dragon, and then I can just set my Majesty with Dragons of White, so I can at least have uh Graveyard Negate, um, one destruction or two destruction at best if I have Blue Eyes by Dragon in my hand, and then a Omni Negate since I can cheat out my Blue Eyes Spirit Ultimate Dragon using Blue Eyes Spirit Dragon.
I see. So what is the hardest matchup into your tournament,
It was Ryzeal.
Ryzil? So do you
Because
think
of
Ryzil
the
is really strong against this deck?
Yes, it is because the field spell is really damn annoying. I think the field spell's effect that every time a Ryzeal monster activates effects upon resolution, it negates a monster effect. So whenever I try to activate my Blue Eye Spirit Dragon on my other cards, my opponent would always chain the right moment. Si Earl Camadra, he's a really good Yu-Gi-Oh! He's a really good Yu-Gi-Oh! Player, and yeah.
I see. So the tournament was really infested by a lot of meta decks. No, we do have seen the Ryzil and Malice and also Tenpai. No, so how did you fare against those decks? Especially they are more popular, more powerful in a sense that they are higher in the tier list. So how did Blue Eyes fared against those decks?
So I lost my Ryzeal matchup because my opponent actually had used a combination of Sharks and Ryzeal. It was indeed quite hard to actually fight against it because of their mountain of specials and summons. Against my Malice matchup, I against my Malice matchup, I just tried to negate and negate as many ashes as possible as many ashes, excuse me, as many of his banishes as possible, especially the field spell and my opponent's Dormouse. I was lucky enough that he didn't draw any dimensional shifters because I know that Malice has a shifter line. Although with although my Blue Eyes does have a shifter line, thanks to a saga with the saga of the Blue Eye Dragon, because I can special summon a Blue Eyes monster from my banner zone.
I see. So, some topping deck lists in Japan, South Korea, China are not even running the Magia. So, what are your thoughts with your build using and patronizing the Magia compared to the other Blue Eyes deck profiles that is streamlined to Synchro Summoning and is not running the Magia?
For me, I think it's because they want more consistency and grind game. For me, the reason why I run Magia because I can actually recycle my Blue Eye Spirit Dragon from my graveyard just by shuffling in two Blue Eye Spirit and one Ultimate Dragon and one Black Luster Soldier. So for them, they're just only using the Synchro because they can also run like Dominus Purge. It lessens the deck space because you can see here that I'm running like three tech cards, well two tech cards, Gateway to Chaos and Black Luster Soldier.
Right.
So them, I think they're running Dominus Purge, was it?
Yes.
So yeah,
I see. So, what are your thoughts in the finals? Because it is very lucrative and very interesting now that you have faced a mirror match. Yes, correct.
Yeah.
You have faced
Yes,
a
it
Blue
was.
Eyes White Dragon mirror in the finals. So, what is the
Yes, it.
matchup and how did the mirror match played around?
Okay, so the way I play around my mirror match is that since I already know my own deck, the weakness of this deck is that if I don't if I don't have the vanilla blue eyes in the graveyard or in my hand, your the deck basically remains stagnant. So I try to reserve my ashes and my negates so that my opponent will not bring out blue eyes white dragon onto the field or onto the graveyard. The mirror match was really funny because remember 2016 Worlds,
Yes,
the mirror matchup.
Blue Eyes
So
meta.
uh, yeah, I I still disagree with the voice metal thing, but yeah, that's what happened. I really got lucky, and then I evenly matched my opponent during his third turn. But honestly, my opponent also bricked. But yeah,
Okay, so with the recent release of a new support for Dark Magician, just earlier, we have seen a Synchro Dark Magician support for the Duel Monster Yugi Kaiba era. What are your possible and hopeful support that you may get to further support this deck? What are your kinda ideal card to boost this deck into the newer heights?
okay. First off, the synchro. I think that's only like a promo card because the effects are somewhat unique because it requires 25 cards in the graveyard. But and the Dark Magician support. I am actually hoping for an easier way. Uh, I kind of want like the same treatment with like my Blue Eyes deck. It has like a Maiden of White that just that places Eternal Soul from the deck. And then I think I kind of want the deck to be more visual focused because like it's actually more interesting that way. For me, I think there might be a Dark Magician synchro, but I don't know. I barely know. I don't think there's any like synchro cards in Dark Magician, honestly.
Yeah,
But yeah,
it was just
I'm
released earlier, announced rather.
yeah. But I think what I'm hoping for consistency boost is like for me an easier way to search out virtual monsters and like another spell that can actually splash on my Blue Eyes by Dragon because I know that Dark Magician and Blue Eyes has like the same spell which is Destined Rivals. I kind of want the same kind of gimmick like that as well.
Okay, so the Blue Eyes White Dragon deck is fairly new in our metagame, considering that it was just recently supported. So, as a champion of a major tournament using the Blue Eyes White Dragon deck, what advice can you give to possible new players picking up this deck and other people who would want to play the Blue Eyes White Dragon?
Honestly, for me, you can. I think to me, Dragon Master Magia is an important combo piece because it lets us recycle our Blue Eyes cards. But honestly, if you want to play the Blue Eyes White Dragon deck with the new supports, try to bait out your opponent as much as possible. Your main card right here is Prayers with Eyes of Blue. One Ash, and this deck dies. As long as you bait out as many negates as possible, you should be good to go. And then for me, try to opt for Stardust Sapphire Dragon because it protects the trap. The trap is the one weakness in this deck because is also one of the one weakness is also one of the weaknesses in this deck because once that trap is in the graveyard, it'll destroy all of your monsters on the field. But here's a tip: Blue Eye Spirit Dragon is graveyard negate is not is only a soft once per turn, and you can negate your own trap's destruction as well. So try to opt for a ratio of 3 Blue Spirits or 2 because you can still essentially recycle using Ultimate Fusion. And try to, if you want to as well, you can also use Axel Synchro Stardust Dragon, so you can Synchro Summon on your opponent's turn. So you can essentially have like 6 to 7 negates on your opponent's turn.
I see. So, the fear or the worries of people that are trying to pick up this deck are the increasing price of the Crimson Dragon and Stardust Cipher. So, do you think this deck is playable without those cards? In honestly,
Okay, to me, I'm still out of words that the price of Crimson Dragon increased from 200 to 800 pesos,
yes,
and Stardust from 1,000 to 2K for some stupid reason.
yes,
Um, to me, I think that to me the deck is still very playable. If you want to, you can just replace Crimson Dragon with one of the dragons which is already part of the structure deck, which is Azure Eyes Silver Dragon. It will still apply the protection effects. You can still keep your Blue Eyes Spirit Ultimate Dragon on the field if since she did out using Blue Eyes Spirit Dragon effect. Um, with Crimson Dragon, you can replace Azure Eyes Silver Dragon and Stardust Silver Dragon. And for me, I think you can still run the deck without those cards. Maybe you need to run a Synchro Rumble or a card that you can essentially cheat out yet another level 1 tuner so it can help you in the long run.
Okay, so that sums up my questions for this in-depth analysis for your Blue Eyes White Dragon deck profile. So, any shoutouts before we end this video?
Okay, so shout out to my to my Yu-Gi-Oh father, Tomas Espinio Dominic. Shout out to Matthew Ray Dolorfino, ang akin nga hero master and the council member that chose me as the bounty in this yesterday's tournament. And shout out to Prince Ursula for being the tutorial in the Yu-Gi-Oh Association. Shout out to Sir Franz, the Blue Eyes Master, and the one that also helped me build. Shout out to Nung Kyle that introduced me to Sir Franz. Shout out to the Iloilo Yu-Gi-Oh Association uh, for helping me build this deck and introducing me to Yu-Gi-Oh. And shout out to my and shout out to excuse me, sorry, and shout out to Peter Louis Dumo, who was the first person that gave me a Blue Eye score.
I see. So yeah, that's very sentimental. So thank you for having your deck profile here in our channel. So congrats once again. So good luck on your future
Yeah,
games
thank you.
using this Blue Eyes White Dragon.